Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the 12th session of our course Abilities, Skills, and Healthy Attitudes. The topic we are going to discuss today is the two traps I may fall in. In your earlier session, you have discussed how to be able to recognize the truth, which is, of course, necessary if you want to walk the straight path. You have also discussed about trustworthiness and written a full paragraph or two about it. In this session, you'll be discussing about your moral influence and the two traps which can hinder your effort to promote rectitude of conduct. So we shouldn't take everything for granted. There are dangers, there are traps ahead of us. You'll also be creating an action plan to promote rectitude of conduct. Now, let's talk a little bit about moral influence. Rectitude of conduct is already part of your life. However, the discussions of the previous lesson should have helped you to build a framework within which you can improve your rectitude of conduct. Although your understanding of the subject is now greater, the actual development of these qualities, attitudes, and skills require commitment and, of course, action on your part. Analyzing moral capabilities in general terms, as we have done in the earlier sessions, is actually the first step in the process of action and reflection. Now, when we say action and reflection, that means whatever we do, we act, then we have to reflect and analyze what we have done, what was good, what can be improved. So that is how, through action and reflection, we can develop our capabilities, especially moral capabilities. But along with moral behavior, that is, of course, the testimony, the proof that one has moral capabilities, along with the behavior, it's important for you to have also moral influence on others. It means you will be able to promote moral standards where? In three environments: the extended family, your own extended family, then comes the community, then comes the society. Therefore, now let's see how you can promote rectitude of conduct. Well, the extended family is an excellent environment where you can develop your ability to promote uprightness. Sure, that's where you can really start. But before considering what you need to do to promote higher standards of rectitude of conduct within your extended family, let us remind ourselves about what you should not do. Because you should be careful not to fall into the traps that your own ego sets for you. Ego is part of our existence. Nobody is, free from it. So we have to be conscious of its existence and its activities. Now, out of the traps that ego can put before us, two of them are particularly dangerous, and we should learn how to avoid them. One is arrogance, and the other one is self-righteousness. If we don't know how to avoid them, we can find ourselves caught in them. But what does arrogance mean? Arrogance is when someone thinks about himself, about herself, to be too important or superior to others. Wow, it's so dangerous. Now, to understand it better, look for further meanings on the internet, in the dictionaries. And when we talk of self-righteousness, which is again a very, very dangerous attitude, it is when one believes what he thinks or does is right. Let me give you an example of a bird. The bird, when it tries its best to fly and goes up, okay, it is safe. But then, as it stops going up, its decline will begin. And self righteousness is the starting point of one's decline, moral decline, spiritual decline. So dangerous it is. Now, for example, think about any campaign or any community engagement that you are involved. Visualize what can happen to any participant to become arrogant. Why somebody becomes arrogant? What happens that one can become arrogant? And what can happen that anyone may become self righteous? Because these things don't just come about by themselves. There are situations that lead to these two negative attitudes to be developed in somebody. And if one gets these attitudes, these negative attitudes, how both his moral development and his moral influence can stop. Discuss these questions with your learning partner and reflect on them so that you are able to save yourself from the very harmful influences of these two negative attitudes. And the problem is that when we become victims of these attitudes, we may not realize that we have become arrogant. We may not realize that we have become self-righteousness. Somebody said it is like the bad smell of mouth. You know, when somebody's mouth has a bad smell, himself doesn't realize, herself doesn't realize, but the people around realize. Arrogance and self-righteousness is like that. Others will see it and we may not notice it. Well, in this session, there are two activities and one home assignment. So please complete them. This is a very, very important session that we just had for our self-development, moral development, spiritual development. Wherever applicable, links have been provided for the activity submission, for additional reading, and also for the feedback. Thank you very much and best wishes.